This edition of CropLife Retail Week is brought to you by the Tech Hub Live Conference and Expo, July 20th and 21st at the Iowa Events Center in Des Moines. For full information, visit techhublive.com. Hello again, welcome to another edition of CropLife Retail Week. Paul Schrimpf here with Sfiligoj.
Yes.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, Paul. Still in our undisclosed locations for a couple more weeks, apparently, until we get back into the office. I know that our folks are actually gathering in office next week. Probably won't be there for the video next week, but we're all going in to set up our offices, clean out our inboxes, reorganize, file. I know I got a bunch of stuff I just been dropping off at the office that's going to need to be put away because I don't think I have any desk space clear at the moment. It's just been piles of stuff that I said, you know what, I'll get to it when I get back in the office. But lo and behold, that day is finally rolling around. So now I'm going to have to address the issue. Oh, well.
Yeah, I wonder if we could find some Rascal House pizza. It might be a good time to break out the old college pizza place and celebrate the return.
That's not a bad idea. I know there is a Rascal House not too far from where we work. So, and I know it's not the kind you eat in, you have to get it to go, but hey, bring in the pizza back. You and I are probably the only ones that will appreciate Rascal House pizza from our days in college, but, and our viewers out there, if you've never had Rascal House pizza, it's really kind of hard to describe. I mean, they use a nice sweet tasting sauce. They really pile on the provolone and the mozzarella cheese and the crust. I actually had a friend once who worked at Rascal House back in the day and knew how to make the crust from scratch. Oh, absolutely the best. Chewy, just chewy enough without being soggy, but crisp enough that it actually does crack when you're eating. I mean, pizza crust, that's what pizza crust should do.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are probably better tasting pizzas, but the pizza crust is from above. It's something that it's otherworldly. So
absolutely,
really good stuff.
Yes.
Anyway,
absolutely.
It's way more.
Now that we've wasted a whole 2 minutes talking about pizza to our audience, that probably now we've made them either hungry for pizza or they're hating us for not getting to the real news of the day.
Yeah, I suggest you celebrate by ordering pizza from your favorite pizza place right now. So
there you go. Support the local businesses. I'm on board with that one, Paul.
Absolutely. So what's going on?
What's going on? Well, this is actually a story, it broke just as we were doing our video last week, so we missed out on it. I know we've talked about, since 2020 rolled around and COVID-19 hit, the industry has had, I guess you would call it a wave of retirements, folks that have decided, you know what, given circumstances, now is the time that, that it's time for me to step aside and let someone new come into play. And we found out this week that a very good friend of ours, Jim Spradlin, the CEO at GROWMARK, has announced that he will be stepping away from the company. He's been with them since 1982, and he is hoping to retire at the end of February 2022. So I know the company is hopeful they'll be able to name a new CEO in waiting sometime this fall, who then will be able to work with Jim in the transition period. But our best wishes to Jim Spradlin. He was a very good guy, always agreeable. I've talked to him several times. Did one-on-one interviews with him back in the day, and I'm sincerely going to miss his leadership for GROWMARK and also his kind words that he's had for us here at CropLife over the years. Yeah, so with Nutrien, that's two major changeovers in terms of leadership at the top, and it's a critical time, as we all know, for retailers, for growers, and between carbon and everything that's going on that front, sustainability and really, kind of that uniting, the consumer with the farmer a little bit more traceability, more transparency, all the things that are happening. This is a critical time, and hopefully it'd be interesting to see who comes in and leads and is able to affect any changes that they want to make there. But it'd certainly be something we'll look forward to catching up with whoever gets in and
find a little bit more about the vision for GROWMARK Cooperative. Again, a top 5, right? We're still in the top 5.
Still in the top 5, yep, of CropLife 100, yep. Yeah, and I know that, Jim was, like I say, he has been with GROWMARK since 1982. So when the former CEO stepped aside, he was named the new CEO. So it'll be interesting to see. I know, I think this will be the 3rd time there's a transition at the top of GROWMARK in my 21 years in the industry. So it'll be interesting to see if this is another person who's already at GROWMARK who gets elevated, or if they actually go outside the company to find someone who is also well known in the industry who can lead an organization like theirs forward. So,
you bet. So I think what was the other thing we were talking about? There's
something we've talked about, Paul. Of course, we have made a big point of talking about the fact that, with vaccination rates going up, states reopening, dropping their mask mandates, that it looked like the show season was going to be a little more normal here come July of 2021, with events taking place indoor and particularly outdoor. I know I'm getting prepared myself for the annual MAGI show, going to take place in Bloomington end of August, but just I guess a little caution note to our viewers that things are not entirely back to normal on the event front. We found out from our friends at the Mid-America CropLife Association this week that had postponed, actually went virtual with their 2020 meeting because of COVID. They have now announced that their 2021 meeting, which was supposed to take place in early September, will now also continue to be a virtual event, basically citing the fact that many of their member companies have not yet cleared their folks for travel around the country just yet. So they wanted to plan ahead far enough that folks would be able to adjust to a virtual schedule versus to an in-person one and get everybody lined up. So the MACA meeting, if you were planning to attend that in person this year, it'll be a virtual event again, Paul. So just hang by your computer in mid-September and you'll be able to catch up on all the speakers and goings on of that event.
And it's hard to say whether it's, what's going to extend much past the 3rd quarter, but it seems like Q3 is, at least for the larger organizations, more international organizations, if it's not for customers or for internal purposes, business purposes, that conferences and so forth, they're still, they're traveling, but they're not traveling for that sort of thing in some cases. So that's kind of erodes attendance enough to make it just better to go virtual. And on the Tech Hub Live side, that's now officially a month away, which is it's hard to believe that we're that close. It's amazing. We're really getting good support from the Midwest. Attendance is picking up, and we continue to be very excited about the fact that we can get together again, that the mask mandates have been relaxed significantly in terms of what's required. That's all. We just updated that on our website, which is terrific. But I wanted to mention that on the Monday night of the event, it's the 19th through the 21st is the total event, because we're doing a field day on Monday the 19th before. That evening, the city of Des Moines, in their excitement for returning to live events and us bringing this to the city, is sponsoring an event for our attendees that Monday evening. So anyone who's coming to the event, if you're in Monday evening, you can enjoy. And the details are still getting worked out, but there's several establishments in downtown that are going to be a part of this thing. And it's just for attendees of Tech Hub Live. And this isn't just a celebration of technology and networking. It's really going to be a fun time too. And we hope that everyone who's able to come can partake of all the fun things that we're doing, along with the learning and networking, because it's what it's about. It's about enjoying each other's company, and also all the other stuff that comes with coming to conferences. So look for more information on that. But we're really excited and appreciate the city's support through this whole thing. It's been quite gratifying to see this thing come together.
That sounds very special, Paul. Looking forward to that. And we should probably mention to our viewers as well. I think you had told me the other day when we talked that I think you said hotel space was becoming a little more hard to find for the dates of the event. So if you're planning to join us in Des Moines for Tech Hub Live, you may want to start planning to try to find a hotel room because it may be a little hard to do.
Well, I think we're going to be fine, but it is getting, as time goes by, it's only going to get more and more difficult to do that. So, and our deadline is next week for the lowest rate before we go to the on-site rate. So now's the time to sign up. I guess that's the message.
Very good. Well, speaking of Iowa, Paul, that gives me a good transition. It is time for your favorite segment of the show the last couple of weeks. As he hangs his head. It is time, Paul, for Fun with Numbers.
Great. Terrific.
So now I have given you.
I'll bring the parrot on to help. We'll see if that increases my odds at all.
Okay, so you already have a clue because I said the transition was Iowa. So your clue to what we've got for Fun with Numbers. The number is 54, as in 54%. And your other clue is derecho. So what is your guess what 54 might represent, keeping in mind Iowa and derecho as your clues?
Oh, man. Anything to do with rainfall?
No, absolutely wrong. The buzzer is there. No, Paul, 54%. Okay, well, this comes into play. As you remember, the derecho happened in August 2020, was the most expensive thunderstorm to ever take place in the United States in terms of property damage. Somewhere around $11 billion worth of damage was done to structures and fields all across Iowa and a couple other Midwestern states. But I guess 3 universities did a recent study where they were talking about the sort of the fallout here in 2021 from the derecho in crop fields across the state. And basically said that volunteer corn, because of the derecho event, seems like it's going to be much, much worse here in 2021 than it has been for the past couple of seasons. And they're estimating that soybean farmers in the state could lose 54% of their crop yields in 2021 because volunteer corn will be so severe in Iowa soybean fields during this growing season. So there you go, Paul. The derecho is the storm that just keeps on giving, unfortunately. Almost a year passed when it took place, and after effects are still there.
Wow. Just have to rain on everybody's parade. I mean, it was looking so good for a while. Now it's, oh, well, it's always something, isn't it? There's one thing, it's another.
That is true. So. But yes, sorry, Paul, you did not get Fun with Numbers correct this week.
Well, everybody's used to my failures, so that's okay. So we done, sir? We wrapped up?
I think that's all I have. So unless you have something else to add, unless you want your bird to chirp out to the audience, I think we're done.
No, she does nothing on command, so I won't be able to get her to do anything.
All right.
Anyway, that's it for this edition of CropLife Retail Week. We appreciate you joining us, and we'll see you next week. If you have questions or comments about today's episode of Retail Week, contact us by email or Twitter, or type your message in the comment section below.
Your feedback is important to us. We'll try our best to address your thoughts in next week's episode.
And be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.